With the focus of all the new items being added to TFT in the new set, I thought it'd be a good idea to look at some older items that are actually going to be a lot better in this set than they were in the previous one. And first up, we're going to talk about Rapid Fire Cannon. And so Rapid Fire Cannon in the previous set was not super good. You could use it on exactly 2 champions for the majority of the set, like that you really wanted to play it on. It was Yasuo for his RFC mechanic where he could extend his dash, and Belveth, it helped her targeting quite a bit. But after they made the quality life change to Belveth to fix her targeting, to make it a little bit more consistent without RFC, RFC became not even one of her best items, but it's a fine item to build on her still. And then Yasuo got his mechanic removed. Now, in the new set, we actually have a lot of RFC users. And so RFC is going to be a lot better item this set, as well as the augment scoped weapons. And now here are just some examples of some units that are very good with RFC. There may even be more, but RFC is now a real item that you actually can build and flex around, rather than it just being the item that you build because you couldn't get a rod for your Rage Blade. Now, down here we have Mordekaiser, Naafiri, Belveth, Nilah, and Gangplank. Now, I haven't really seen this Gangplank tech, but I think this could be some good tech. You put him on the second row, and you can get his Cutlass passive and getting that burning true damage on like gunner comps for Gangplank. Usually, Gangplank, you'll just put him in the backline and put his Sojin and AP items on him. You'll call it a day. But I think there could be some tech here throughout the set. Now, you see these triple RFCs. I don't actually think this is good. But I just wanted to show this because this is something that people are playing right now on PvE. I don't think it's actually that good. And if it is actually really good, it will not make it to live in this way because this is not a good way for the game to be balanced. But it is really fun. So a lot of people are hard forcing it on the PvE. And you probably see it perform really well, but the PvE server is completely unrealistic games. So let's check out a clip of me playing the build right here. And here we are. It's Jover, I say. Now, I actually die this round, but you can see what it does. It actually extends the range of her whip. You see I'm whipping like the whole, pretty much half the board because of my triple RFC. It's very, very, very cool. It's very fun. But I do end up dying to this Darius here, I believe. Let's see. Do I make it? I make it. Okay, I actually survive. But yeah, it's super, super, super fun. And so you can already see that that is a very strong unit with this item. And hey, guys, if you liked watching that clip, hey, check out my Twitch stream. The link is in the bottom left corner of this video and in the pinned comment below. Click it. Just click it and give me a follow, man. It doesn't cost you anything. And then we also have Mordekaiser, which is really one of the other better users. There's a clip of me right here. This is actually my first game of playing the new set, and I have Radiant RFC. Look at, I mean, this board is insane. I have Radiant RFC. I have Zhonya's Hourglass. I have Nox's Crown, Azir. This is crazy. Just look at my Mordekaiser. And so you can already see there are some really good AP or really good flex options, and it's not even just AD. Mordekaiser is AP, so there's a lot of good flex options with this RFC item between damage types. And there's probably more users to this item that I'm not even considering here, and that we're gonna find out throughout the set that are actually gonna be very solid with the item. I don't know if it extends Kiana's range with her ability. Who knows? There might be some interactions that I don't know about. And the next item we're going to talk about, the last item we're going to talk about, is Runaan's Hurricane. So Runaan's Hurricane, throughout all of TFT's history, has been an extremely strong early game item. And that has never changed. So like in last set, that was still true. But Runaan's Hurricane was not really a very good flexible item. It would go on like Zeri, and that's pretty much it. I'm sure I'm blanking on a few other things, but pretty much when you built Runaan's, you think about playing Zeri or Akshan, right? And then when Akshan was no longer a viable carry for a lot of the set in high UO, you really didn't have a viable spot to put Runaan's if you slammed it for early game, because the Zeri's build kind of evolved into just Rageblade plus shred items, really just be all evolved in what she wanted, and a Deathblade, something like that. So, or a Giant Slayer was very good later on in the set. So it really lost its spot as like an actual item you can play in the late game. And I'm happy to report that both of the premier backline AD carries are actually really good with his item now. Now, I can't guarantee this will be meta while the set. We'll see, but they did lower the need to have shredding items like Last Whisper, and Giants are still going to be super viable, of course, but it feels like you can actually build Runaan's Hurricane, and I just have these units over here because these are some good units to put the item on the early game. But Runaan's Hurricane is, it's a super good early game item. It really doesn't matter. Like Jhin doesn't make super good use of it, but it's just a really good early game item. Gives you that flat AD, gives you a little bit of attack speed, and then the bolt proc is really helpful in the early game because there's just not many units on the board. So when you're spreading your shot, if there's only 4 units on the board, and every time you auto attack, you're hitting 50% of the units on the board, that's a lot of value, right? But So let's talk about Aphelios. Why is it good on Aphelios now? Because Aphelios is a gunner, and gunners stack up a lot of AD naturally through their trait. A lot different than Deadeye. So he'll make much better use of the Runaan's Hurricane, especially comboed with a Gwynsu's Rageblade and another damage amp item. I'm not sure if it's going to be Deathblade for sure, but I would imagine this sort of build is going to be very strong on Aphelios. And this is going to be full quite nice because he's just stacking up the AD. He attacks super, super, super fast. And so this is actually a good slam for some early tempo, and then you can move into this. And Xayah, you may be wondering about Xayah. At the time of making this video, Xayah's ability, whenever she casts her little shred bolts that go out, it does proc Runaan's Hurricane. So this is very good on her. It can be very, very, very good on her. And then I just put some other items if you guys are curious about good items on Xayah. I think just a tiny bit of crit chance is really nice, especially if you're playing 2 or 4 Vanquisher. Just a tiny bit of crit chance. So something like a Last Whisper can actually get a lot of bang for your buck, or maybe even Guard Breaker, even though it doesn't give AP, even though that's more of a, it just gives AP scaling. It doesn't give any AD scaling. Just the Guard Breaker passive is super good. So, or Giant Slayer, whatever. But I think its small amount of crit is actually really, really, really nice on Vanquishers, and we're good to go. So anyways, guys, just a quick little video on some items that you guys should not be sleeping on and you should try in the new set. Follow me on Twitch, guys. I need more followers on Twitch. Appreciate you guys.